Hello again, class. This is Ralph, and I'm going to show you my audience. Today I'm going to discuss starting and running your own youth. I'm going to talk about basketball league, but it could be any youth sports league. The first thing it takes, as with starting any business or venture, is money. You have to keep many things in mind. Obviously, the first thing I'm going to discuss, if you have a partner or anything else, is what the actual cost that you are going to have to spend is. Cost for me, as far as running the basketball league, was things like how much insurance is going to cost, how much jerseys are going to cost per person, how much equipment is going to cost. As far as basketball goes, equipment can be things like basketballs, replacing nets once they become worn, to little things such as whistles, or a big expense that I actually had in the league that I'm running now was a scoreboard. It was a fully functional digital scoreboard. It cost actually over $400. So, as I said, with everything, you're going to have to discuss the cost. To cover the costs and expenses, things you're going to have to consider are the fees that each player is going to incur. You have to decide how much you're going to be able to charge each player. Obviously, we're not in a very economically wealthy area, so we're going to try and keep costs per player down as much as we can. Other things are, again, since we're in an economically unstable area, if a family has 2 or 3 or more players, are we going to charge each player the cost no matter how many there are, or are we going to give a family discount? And finally, are we going to give sponsorships at all? We have a lot of times, especially in the area that I'm in Ellenville, people coming to us saying, we can't really afford to. Is there any way we can get a cheaper price or not pay at all? And once you establish, if you're going to scholarship players at all, you also have to find out how you're going to determine who gets those scholarships. The next thing you got to consider is staff. Anytime you're going to be undertaking a venture like this, and you're going to put your name on it, you want to consider the people that are going to either be working for or volunteering for you. You're going to have to worry about who runs the administration side, who's going to be coaching the kids, who's going to be reffing the individual games themselves, and all those things need to be considered. So the first thing I have for you is one of our coaches' registration forms. Each coach needs to fill one of these out. It has some basic information, name, where they're located. We also want information as far as what they've done previously. Is this their first time coaching? Have they had a lot of experience? Just so we can know exactly who we're putting in front of children and in front of the people that we serve. Other important information such as, are they first aid swap certified? So we can, again, know who we're putting out in front as people to represent us. We also, as I said, need to worry about things like insurance. Now, for the league that I ran, we had a participation agreement. That's different from a waiver. This isn't saying that we're not responsible for anything, but this is letting each individual player and family know exactly what to expect, what we will and will not take responsibility for, and let them know that, if anything, their personal insurance needs to be used before we will try and cover anything. Since we want to make sure that we keep costs as low as possible for the players involved, we also want to consider things like sponsorships. Sponsorships, as far as what we did this year, was we sold different size banners. We went and talked to local businesses about who would be interested in sponsoring for us. If someone bought a banner, it would hang at every video game, at every game, including playoffs and championships, and we also put them on our website so we can get the word out to everybody that they helped us out. So that was one of our sponsors. Here's another one of our sponsors. And we made these banners either their choice for a $200 sponsorship, they would get a 3x5 banner, or for $300 they would get a 4x6 banner, 4 foot by 6 foot. The next thing we had to worry about was signups. We always have a problem with signups. Everybody always, for some reason or another, wants to either sign up the very last minute or after we even say signups have ended. We need to determine who's going to be at these signups to take charge. We need to set a place for the signups to happen. All this needs to happen well in advance. As far as late signups go, we'd never want to sway or not allow people to sign up just because they were late. We run into problems with that sometimes because after we pick fair teams, people might try and sign up who are at a high skill level, and at that point it might tip the scales as far as making teams evenly competitive. So that's always a problem that we have. Lastly is execution. We want to make sure that every day we go out there, we put the best product and the best individuals in charge of the youth as possible. We have to worry about all the day-to-day things as far as weather concerns. If there is weather coming in, we need to make an appropriate time that we're going to get the word out to parents that we're either going to have to delay, postpone, or cancel games. And finally, when we can't cover, or if we can't cover costs just with fees because not enough people may not have been able to pay, or we didn't get enough sponsorship, we run fundraisers like this. This is an example of a community kickball game that the money raised went to cover our expenses. It was free to play, there was no sign up needed, but we sold drinks, we sold chips, we sold snacks, so almost everything that we got to sell was donated by local businesses. So this was just another way to keep costs down and to let everyone play whenever we could. Thank you. And I'll show my audience one more time.